We are now down to the third part, and we're going to be doing the detail on the center of the crescent rings here. So in order to see that more clearly, what I need to do is to shut off the design so that we can see just the trace layer. If I get that come back up, we're going to be dealing with this area right here. So what I need to do is I need to create a new layer and name that center, and using my shape tool I'm going to shut off my stroke and create my fill in white, and holding down my ellipse tool I'm going to go from the center here, hold down Alt and Shift, and see if I can't get a circle that corresponds roughly to the size of the circle in the design. As I said, if it doesn't correspond exactly, I can always alter it a little bit, but it's pretty close. Close enough. Okay, so that gets me into the center circle, and now I have to create the rectangles. On my instructions to you, I think I create the rectangles in a separate layer, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to create another layer here and name it rectangles. Now I might not do that in the version of the canvas one from the class, but I want to make sure that I have it on a separate layer so that I can create. There we go. Now, as I said in the instructions on the canvas video, I turn on this layer so that you can more clearly see this, and then what I do is I take that and I do edit and copy and edit and paste. I'm going to do I'm going to do paste in place, and then nudge it down from here and over, and then use my bidirectional arrows on the side of the thing and turn it till it approximates where it needs to go to be the center spokes. I think I've got the angle quite right. There we go. And then do edit, copy, edit. And I'm going to do paste in place again, and then I'm going to move it over here and do edit, transform, or rotate. I keep thinking I'm in Photoshop. I need to use my bidirectional arrow. Do it here. There we go. I think that's off a little bit. So we're going to take and move it until it's in the right spot. See what that looks like. Pretty close. Let's turn off everything and just keep it on the trace layer. Yeah, see, it's not in the right spot. We'll nudge it down a little bit and over. This one, not in the right spot, down and over. And this one's okay. Alright, so as I said, the reason for the black background layer, of course, is now you can turn this on. You can see all of those three elements isolated, and you can also see that that one triangle, or that one rectangle right there, is not quite in the right spot. There we go. As you can see, there was little black shapes right at the edge of that. So with my black background layer locked and all the other layers locked except the two that I want, I'm going to go to the rectangle layers first. Whoop. Moving my trace layer. Don't want to do that, so we'll do edit, undo the move, lock the trace layer back up. I want to be on the rectangle layer, and I want to use my shape tool or my selection tool, go around just the rectangles and do edit, copy, shut it off, go to the center layer and do edit, paste in place. Okay, that then puts those four elements onto a layer of its own. I'm going to get rid of the rectangle layer because I don't need it anymore. I'm going to take the center layer, go around those shapes and do edit, copy, shut that off, go to this layer, unlock that. There we go. And do edit, paste in place. There we go. And that pretty much wraps up the details of the design. However, as I think I mentioned to you in the video from the class, we now need to do a final step. That is to go around the entire, I'm going to get rid of the center layer because I don't need that anymore. I'm going to keep it all on layer 2. I'm going to go around the whole thing. You can see I've got now, it's composing the shapes that compose the entire design has now been selected. I'm going to go to Object and Group. So that puts everything together on one layer. The problem is now that I need to do that final step. And I have to go to File, Edit, Preferences, Preferences General. And on the far side over here, you want to do Scale, Strokes, and Effects. And I think it's you need to either check it or uncheck it. I'm going to uncheck it and see what happens. Say OK. And now what happens when I take that entire design, I'm going to shut off my trace layer, go around the whole design, and do Edit. And I'm going to try and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Edit, Copy, I'm going to go File, New. I'm going to place this into a new document. Taking a little bit here. There we go. I'm going to place it into a new document that's 18 by 18 inches square. So I'm going to change from inches or pixels to inches. And we're going to make it 18 by 18 and create. Oh, it's got bidirectional. I had it up 4 artboards. Don't need to do that. Okay. File, new. I'm going to do it again. I had 4 artboards selected for something else. You can see that right here. I'm going to change that to 1, not 0, but 1, and create. There we go. Now we've got one artboard. If I go to View and Rulers, which aren't showing at the moment, you can see that it is indeed 18 by 18 inches square. And then I'm going to do Edit, Paste. That creates my design again, which was coming off of a 6 by 6, so you can see it's kind of like in dead center. Now, if I take and do my Shift, constrain it, and make it smaller, see, it didn't do it. It's not right. That means that what I need to do is edit and undo the scale. And what I need to do is I need to go to Edit, Preferences, General, and go to make sure Scale and Stroke Effects are checked and say OK. And now when I do the Shift and make it smaller, there, the proportions stay with the document. If I make it bigger, the proportions stay with the document. It looks the same no matter what size I make it, which is what's the important thing. Anyway, that concludes step 3 in creating a complex shape. Based on this now, you should be able to do whatever you need to do with your logo, no matter how complex it is. Okay, all for now. Talk to you again soon.